Oh,
Which one's your number? 0489?
Yes. And that's Gwen Shamaria.
all right, so we're going to talk about agency today. This is the quick overview.
Shamaria.
Agency. What is it? As soon as you hear agency, it means relationship. That's it. Relationship. What do relationships consist of? Usually two people. Usually. But in real estate, the principal and the agent. These are the main two parties. And when I say agent, I'm not just talking about real estate agent. This is agent, the concept in an overall view, all right? So you have a relationship between a principal. Another name for a principal would be, in real life today, your client, okay? Your client. The client is the one who is hiring. The client is the one who is the authorizer. When you go to the other side of the relationship, you have an agent. In this sense, the agent is the one who is hired, the one who is authorized to act on behalf of. You do not have a relationship in real estate if you do not have a written agreement. No written agreement, no relationship. No written agreement, no relationship. All right, so in real estate, you have 5 main relationships. The first one that each one of you are going to encounter once you pass your state exam is going to be with your broker. And you will be an affiliated licensee or a salesperson. What you're going to sign is an affiliation agreement, which is a written agreement that says how you're going to be compensated, what you can and cannot do for the broker. You are authorized to act on their behalf. That's why you can go out and get business and clients and sign documents on behalf of your broker. It's the affiliation agreement, that written agreement that solidified the relationship, that tells you how much you get paid, what your splits would be, or if there's no splits. All of that is all encompassing. Affiliation agreement is the type of written agreement that you sign. I'm going to pause. Questions around that? Does it make sense? Second relationship, when you work with a buyer. When you work with a buyer, now you're adding layers to agency. You can have multiple relationships. This is the only type of relationship that you will have where you're allowed to have multiples with morals. Okay? According to some. So, buyer, broker, and its affiliated licensees. You'll notice this is for relationship 2, 3, 4, and 5. Broker and its affiliated licensees, aka you as salespeople, also associate brokers. For those that go on and become a broker, but they don't start their own brokerages, but they affiliate with a big brokerage or a small brokerage, they are referred to as associate brokers. They are also affiliated licensees. Make sense? So on the contracts that you sign, it's going to say broker and its affiliated licensees. I'll show you examples when we get to the contracts chapter. When you go find your first buyer, you are going to talk to them. You are going to say, let me represent you. And the only way they become your client is if they sign an exclusive buyer brokerage engagement agreement. That is the written agreement that solidifies the relationship. Your client is not your client without this being signed. Next, if you go and you work with a seller, your first seller, you are being hired by a seller. The agent in this relationship will be the broker and its affiliated licensees. You sign the exclusive seller brokerage engagement agreement. You do not have a client or relationship without that being signed. Number 4, if you work with landlords, You can enter this relationship with a property management agreement. If you work with HOAs, you can enter a relationship and manage the HOA with a management agreement. These are the 5 main relationships. Does that make sense? Now, when we go into the chapter, we're going to add layers to agent. We're going to talk about what a universal agent is, what a general agent is, what a limited agent is, or agency. We're also going to talk about implied agency, ostensible agency, and we're also going to talk about the different types of agencies or relationships that happen when it comes to dual or designated, buyer, seller, tenant agencies. So I'm putting this on the side because when it comes to the concept of agent, we're going to be adding layers to it. But at the heart of it, the agent is the one who is hired, who is authorized to act on behalf of someone. And this is what the entire chapter is about. And where these relationships come from, where the idea of the written agreements come from, is something called BRETA, Brokerage Relationships and Real Estate Transactions Act. Brokerage Relationships and Real Estate Transactions Act, which we will cover at the end of the chapter. But this is the foundation for agency. And this is why it is very clear what your roles are. The other thing we're going to add to this, when you have a client or principal, they have duties to you as the agent. And when you are the agent, you have duties to your client. And we're going to talk about those as well. This is agency. Questions before I dive into the slides? All right.